Hey there, Unsolved Mysteries fans, WaywardLegacy back at you with another video. So, I've been thinking about another case to do. Well, I was trying to think of another case to do, and I really couldn't come up with, one that I really wanted to do right now. So I figured it would be a good idea to kind of go back and revisit a case which I had done before, which is the Danny Casolaro case, which, you guys know with cases like Danny's, I referenced his case a lot in a couple of different cases that were similar to this one, like the Dave Box case, and stuff like that. So I've said it numerous times. This is my favorite case ever. That was covered in Unsolved Mysteries. Like if I had to do like a top three, it would go Danny Casolaro, Dave Box, and probably the coverage of Area 51, like of that case. I enjoyed that too. So yeah, those would probably be my top three cases. Mainly the Danny Casolaro and Dave Box case. Because those were those were two cases that had nobody knew what happened to those guys, and there's so many possible theories and stuff like that that people have come up with over the years, and there's just so many ways that a case could go. Like with the Danny Casolaro case, there's been numerous conspiracy theories and stuff like that on it, and basically for this video, I looked back at my video yesterday, and there was some stuff I left out and stuff like that, and I've done some more research on it, and there is some stuff that was actually not covered in the show that I found on the web that I wanted to cover as well. My theory on it won't change really, but I'll still give you my theory at the end of this when I'm done it all. But yeah, there was some stuff that I had been reading on the internet, which I had never heard about. They didn't talk about it on the show. When I looked it up on Unsolved Mysteries Wiki, it wasn't up there. And I'm not going to talk about like the octopus, like him investigating the octopus and the government, the Unsolved case and all that. I'm going to skip all that because you guys probably already know all about that. Even though I didn't cover it in my video, at least I don't think I did. I'm sure you guys know all about it. Really, what I'm going to do is just, cover the last known sightings, his death, the autopsy, and, really anything else that, I found on here. So I'm just going to get into it right now. So, this is the last known sightings of Danny Casolaro. So according to the Village Voice, Casolaro's whereabouts between late August 8th and afternoon August 9th are unknown. The day before he died, according to the Martinsburg Morning Journal, he ate at a Pizza Hut, where he told the waitress that he liked her eyes and quoted The Great Gatsby to her. He met the Honeywell engineer William Richard Turner at the Sheraton at about 2:30 p.m. on August 9th. Turner said he gave Casolaro some documents and that they spoke for a few minutes. Witnesses reported that Casolaro spent the next few hours at a Martinsburg restaurant. A bartender there told police that he seemed lonely and depressed. The police further learned that Casolaro was seen at Heatherfield's, the cocktail lounge at the Sheraton, at around 5 p.m. with a man described by a waitress as maybe Arab or Iranian. At about 5:30 p.m. that night, Casolaro happened to meet Mike Looney, who rented the room next to Casolaro's room 517. They chatted on two occasions, first at about 5:30 p.m. and then again at around 8 p.m. Looney later explained that Danny said that he was there to meet an important source who was going to give him what he needed to solve the case. According to Looney, Casolaro claimed that his source was scheduled to arrive by 9 p.m. Around that time, Casolaro left Looney, explaining that he had to make a telephone call. He returned a few minutes later and said that his source might have blown him off. Casolaro and Looney talked till about 9:30 p.m. At about 10 p.m., Casolaro bought coffee at a nearby convenience store. That was the last time anyone reported seeing him alive. So, we'll get into his death now, which, I had covered a little bit in the case, in my original video of this. So here we go. At about noon on August 10th, 1991, housekeeping staff discovered Casolaro naked in the bathtub of room 517. His wrists had been slashed deeply. There were 3 or 4 wounds on his right wrist and 7 or 8 on his left. Blood was splattered on the bathroom wall and floor, and according to Ridgway and Vaughn, the scene was so gruesome that one of the housekeepers fainted when she saw it. Under Casolaro's body, paramedics found an empty Milwaukee beer can, 2 white plastic liner trash bags, and a single razor blade. There was a half empty wine bottle nearby. Ridgway and Vaughn write that nothing was placed in the bathtub drain to prevent debris from draining away, and none of the bath water was saved. Other than the gruesome scene, the hotel room was clean and orderly. There was a legal pad and pen present on the desk. A single page had been torn from the pad, which was a suicide note. Based on the note, the absence of a struggle, no sign of a forced entry, and the presence of alcohol, police judged the case straightforward. After inspecting the scene, they found 4 more razor blades in their envelopes and a small package. Police interviews further revealed that no one had seen nor heard anything suspicious. The Martinsburg police contacted authorities in Fairfax, Virginia, who said they would notify Casolaro's family. So, the first autopsy was performed on Casolaro's body at the University of Virginia on August 14, 1991. The coroner determined that blood loss was the cause of death and that the death had occurred from 1 to 4 hours before the body was discovered, or roughly between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. on August 10th. The day after Casolaro's body was found, Village Voice editor Dan Bischoff received an anonymous telephone call alerting him to Casolaro's death. By Tuesday, August 13th, Ridgway and Vaughn write the rumors were flying, and by the next day the crazies started coming out of the woodwork. There were vague, unsubstantial rumors that the Mafia was somehow involved, and the wildest story suggested that the Undertaker was an employee of the CIA hired to clean up after an agency assassination. Even at the funeral, they write, the family felt engulfed by mysteries. As the ceremony drew to a close, a highly decorated military officer in U.S. Army dress reportedly arrived in a limousine. Accompanied by another man in plain clothes, the military man approached the coffin just before it was lowered onto the ground, laid a medal on the lid, and saluted. No one recognized either man, and to this day they have never been identified. Furthermore, Casolaro was known to have complained numerous times about threatening or unsettling phone calls directed at him, often occurring late at night, including those received by his housekeeper during his absences from his home. After Casolaro's death, it was reported by several mainstream news organizations. Police re-examined room 517. The adjacent rooms to 517 had been rented the evening of Casolaro's death, one by Mike Looney, the other by an unnamed family. No one reported hearing anything unusual either on the night of August 9th or the morning of August 10th. In January 1992, about 5 months after Casolaro's death, Dr. Frost of the Virginia State Medical Examiner's Office performed another autopsy. He returned a second suicide verdict, citing blood loss as the cause of death. Frost said there was evidence of early stages of multiple sclerosis, but the degree of severity was probably minor. Toxicology analysis uncovered traces of several drugs, antidepressants, acetaminophen, I think is what that is, and alcohol. He wrote, there was nothing present in any way that could have incapacitated Casolaro, so he would have been capable of struggling against an assailant, let alone been sufficient to kill him. Ron Rosenbaum, a journalist acquaintance of Casolaro's, speculated in Vanity Fair that Casolaro may have intended his suicide to appear to be murder triggered by his research in order to have others look into the story after his death. Yeah, so that was all from Wikipedia there. Now there's another thing which I wanted to get into here. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I was looking at another thing, and it was the same stuff that I had already read, so I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, there's a lot of different theories that I could come up with for this case. One that I could come up with right now is, possibly, he was meeting with somebody, that one of his contacts or something, and you know they found out he was investigating them or something, and you know, maybe he had been drinking or something, and then you know, possibly he like possibly this guy that Casolaro was meeting with or whatever, you know, waited till, because I remember in the Unsolved Mystery segment that his brother actually said there was a bruise found on the head and on one on the arm, I believe, as well. So, and that there was also the tips of 3 of Danny's fingernails were missing as well. So, you know, possibly what could have happened was, you know, one of his contacts or something probably came and possibly, you know, hit him, you know, found out that he was investigating them or was investigating something involving them or something, and you know, what he probably did was, you know, probably stayed quiet, like entered the room quietly, you know, probably like grabbed Casolaro's arm hard and, you know, probably jerked him back a little bit and, you know, clubbed him in the head, not enough to cut him or anything, but enough, you know, that could where it could leave a bruise and possibly knock him out. And then, you know, he probably stripped him of his clothing, you know, slashed his wrists or whatever, and, you know, made it look like a suicide. You know, probably wrote the note. I don't know. I don't know if they ever investigated the suicide note or not, you know, to actually see if it was really Casolaro's writing or not. Probably not, because they discovered it was a suicide. And, you know, there's other things too, like they found bloody towels under the sink and stuff like that. You know, there was no strainer in the sink or anything. You know, John Connolly, who was interviewed, you know, said that, you know, government have a rule in this country when they screw up, they cover up, you know, like who put the bloody towels under the sink, you know, who drained the sink, or who drained the bathtub without a strainer. It's sloppy work. So it wouldn't have been the work of the government, but it could have been like a work of you know, somebody else, one of these contacts or people that Danny was investigating. I wouldn't think it would be the mafia or something, but you never know. I just think that, you know, he got into the wrong, he got deep into like this world that he shouldn't have been in, with like these different people, like these bad people, whoever they were, and, you know, that's how he got murdered. You know, they found out that he was investigating him, and, you know, did what I just explained. So, you know, that's always been my opinion on it. I just have a hard time believing that, you know, he would cut his wrists like that. You know, like with him to be squeamish of blood like that, you know, it would be hard to imagine him doing that. Now, another scenario too is like Casolaro could have been drinking with somebody, like one of his contacts or something, and that would have happened. That, what I explained earlier, could have happened as well. You know, that's just really my opinion on it, really. Will we ever find out the case? You know, I don't think so. You know, the police have, you know, ruled this a suicide. I don't know if the family is still investigating it. Really, I would think so, but I really don't know. It's been about 24, 25 years since it happened, so, you know, I really don't know. But you know, that's just my thoughts on it. You know, and it was, you know, I wanted to revisit this case because it, you know, it was always one of my favorite. It was my favorite case of Unsolved Mysteries. You know, I'd seen the segment, you know, like a whole bunch of times. You know, I was just always very fascinated with it. Now, I could also, what Ron Rosenbaum said, you know, who was the journalist that was an acquaintance with Casolaro, that, you know, Casolaro could have intended his suicide to appear to be a murder, to have others look into the story after his death. You know, that's a possibility, but like, that's a good theory on it. But, you know, like I said, I can't see him, you know, cutting his wrists unless things were that bad, because apparently, like, the bartender said he seemed lonely and depressed. Now, I don't know, he may could have committed suicide, I don't know. Certainly with his job and stuff, and all these threatening phone calls and stuff like that he was getting, he was under a lot of pressure and stuff like that, trying to crack this case and get it, solve it and stuff like that. So he could have, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Now there is a thing that said he could have gotten himself like insanely intoxicated, just so that he wouldn't so that he could do it. That's a possibility, but like I said, I just have a hard time with thinking that he would do it. So I'm just gonna go with that, with that he was murdered by one of these contacts, that he was meeting with, or or investigating or whatever, or maybe it was these people that were threatening him or something. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to revisit this case, and that's pretty much all I got to say for this video right now. If you like this video, give a like, subscribe, comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and theories on this case. As you guys know, as I've said, this is my favorite case, and I'd love to hear others' thoughts on this case. Just because there's so many holes in it, and so many theories that could have taken place, so many things that could have happened, and I love hearing other people's theories on it. So yeah, if you have any theories, just let me know. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. There may be another video tonight. I'm not too sure. If not, probably be one tomorrow or the day after. I really don't know. I should really start making a schedule of when I do videos, but I just kind of like to do them whenever I feel like doing them, and that's pretty much how it goes. So that's pretty much all I got to say for this video. As usual, my Twitter link, or my Twitter handle, and my PSN will be in the description. If you want to follow me on Twitter, add me on PSN. That'll be in there for you. And yeah, like I said, that's pretty much all I got to say, and I'll see you in the next one. Wayward out.